Okay guys, quick disclaimer, this video is actually 7 months old. I recorded it in January and I'm only just uploading it now. So obviously it's quite outdated, there's been a lot of updates since, and also my editing and everything has improved. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the video regardless. Hi guys, and welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Today I'm going to be talking about how my first term at uni was. And let me tell you, if you've been following my TikTok journey, you already know that it was like more than mad. So let me start with a bit of a backstory. This is actually my second time at uni. My first time was at St. George's in London. I was doing a medically related course and I hated it. And everyone close to me could just tell that I didn't like it. I was not vibing with it, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to pay 9k to be unhappy. And I just decided that, you know, I'm going to take a gap year. In that gap year, my TikTok kind of grew and I started working with more brands, and I developed like a love for like marketing and like business and all of that good stuff. I tried to get internships. It didn't work. I got a lot of rejections, but I'm kind of happy that it turned out that way, because I wouldn't be where I am now if it worked out, you know. Also, during my gap year, I was learning French. It wasn't until I went to Marseille in the south of France that I was like, do you know what, I've tried the whole internship apprenticeship route. It didn't work for me, so why not just try going back to uni and just compare the two things that I love, business and French. And that is now what I do at the University of Essex. I study business management with a modern language being French. Having applied in September just meant that like every single thing was behind. Student finance, my accom, my timetable, it was just a mess. A big mess. Because of that, I had to look for private accommodation, and even the private accommodation was being difficult because I was not fast with it, because I like to stress. I ended up losing out on that private accommodation. But it wasn't until my friend Lizzie, who I actually met through social media, shout out to her, she's literally been the biggest angel in my uni experience. She was in one group chat, and then it turned out they had like a couple tenancy takeovers going, and I was like, yeah, let me get on it. But even when like I applied online, because I called them up, they were like, apply online. I got put onto a waiting list, and then this was on the Friday before my lecture started. So it was like, hey, it's not me that's going to be traveling to Essex every day. Like, that's crazy. So my dad said to me, do you know what, Annie, like the very first day of your lecture, early in the morning, we are going to that accom and we're going to demand a room. And that's what we did. We did that. We left the house at 7 a.m, got there around 9. And we went there and we demanded that room. Everything was going well, everything was going smoothly. They had a room for me, except for the fact that because I didn't have my student finance, I needed a guarantor. That guarantor being my father. Because my dad did not have his identification on him, they refused to let me move into the room. We had to move all my stuff into the reception whilst my dad drove home like 2 hours, because there were a few like accidents on the motorway, so it took longer than usual. It took him like 2-3 hours to get home to get his ID, meaning that I had to move into my accom by myself. And if you know me, I'm so sorry, I don't do heavy lifting. I am not the strongest person, so moving in by myself with heavy boxes was not easy at all. Just when I thought that the first hurdle was over, it wasn't. Uni was still messing things up for me. Because I do a joint honours, every single one of my business and French lectures clash. I went to uni 3 days a week, and every single one of those days there was a clash. And the thing is, like, I know, yeah, okay, maybe lectures, they're not that deep, but when you're learning a language, like, you have to be there, otherwise like it's just not gonna work. And because of these clashes, all throughout my timetable it just says there's a problem with your timetable, please report it. And that's what I did. I reported it and they were useless. The timetabling team literally told me to contact my lecturers to decide what is the best course of action for me. Obviously, each independent lecturer is going to be like, yeah, come to our lectures. Literally, the first term of uni just consisted of me teaching myself the whole content. And one of the modules was maths, and that maths module almost sent me. Now this one had me questioning my whole life. Literally had me thinking like, what did I do in this life for this to be happening to me? So basically I applied for student finance mid-September, and 3 weeks later, they cancelled my application and made me send in a paper copy. As I had gone to university previously, I just redid the form online. I swear I put a whole new uni, a whole new course. They said that I did a returning student form, which is not correct. So yeah, they just cancelled my application. And so I sent it in by mail, first class. I wanted that money. I did it first class. Everything seemed to be going fine. I got a letter like in late October saying, yeah, they received my evidence, you know, should hear back in, you know, the next couple like days or something. Like they said it was gonna be really quick. It was not quick at all. Every single time throughout the whole of November and December, I was calling them saying, what's the update on my student finance? They weren't updating my online portal. And every time I called them, I had to wait at least 30 minutes minimum, whilst they just ended up telling me that I have to just wait another 5 days and I should call back and there will be an update. Mind you, I was applying for both maintenance and tuition fee. So I had the private landlords on my case and I had my uni on my case about paying the 9k. Also, within this time of student finance doing me dirty, I had to pay rent twice. Pay it twice. And I thank God that I worked like 3 jobs in the summer for me to be able to afford it, with also the help of my parents. And honestly, I am so grateful for my parents because they were providing for me in this period of time. Like, if I did not have my parents, I would have been eating Indomie every day. So anyways, now it's coming towards the end of November. I'm still student financeless and I had my first French exam. This was the thing that put me over the edge. I was doing my first ever French exam. Bearing in mind, I want to do an internship in Paris. So like my French grades has to be like A1. I was doing my exam. It's only 50 minutes and I kid you not, my laptop just blacked out. And when it blacked out, the tears came out. Oh my God. I've never panicked so much in my life like I did in that moment. And luckily I was smart. I was like, let me just record my screen. Let me record my screen and the times so that they could see that my laptop had blacked out like during my exam and I wasn't lying. Eventually my laptop turned on again, but at that point I had missed out on 2 20 markers. The big question. First thing I did when that exam finished was call my mum. I cried. I just wanted to tell her the story of what had happened, but the tears came out uncontrollably. I was like, Mom, like, why is this happening to me? Like, why has my experience been so bad? Like, I was like, you guys encouraged me to go back. Like, I wasn't ready. I was like, ah. And then my mom was just like, just contact your lecturer and see what he says. And you have the evidence, so you're calm. But in that period of time, I was like, no. Bearing in mind, this was also like 4 days before my birthday. I was just like, oh, like uni's like ruining my life. Why is all this going wrong? I was not excited for my birthday at all. Bearing in mind that this was my 21st birthday and I was going to Paris the week after, and I was just like, oh Mom, like I don't want to go to Paris anymore. You know, I just wanted to be miserable in my room. But my mum, honestly, she's such an angel and she was like encouraging me to just carry on. She told me to just pray and just, you know, keep a calm and sound mind and God will sort it out for you. And yeah, and I thank God I went to Paris because that was a much needed break. Like, not only because it was my birthday, but because of so much stress. Like, that Paris trip was just like, just amazing. Like, before I was having all these hardships, you know, like, I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'll just brush it off. It's okay. No. So now, after I've been gallivanting in Paris, I come back home. So yet again, problems. I thought, yeah, this Paris trip is gonna, like, you know, just calm my mind. And it did for the time that I was there, but as soon as I got off that Eurostar, reality hit. My university started harassing me for that tuition fee. They were emailing me my invoice. They were saying, have you updated it? Have you paid? And I was like stressing because I was like, if I don't have this student finance, I cannot pay my tuition fee. If I do not have my tuition fee, I will get kicked out of uni. And I was like, all of this was just for nothing. All this stress for nothing. And my blood pressure was through the roof. They said to me, if you do not have your student finance sorted by the 16th of December, you're gone. Like, you're gone. And I was told this 5 days before exam season was starting. So I was just like, what's the point in me trying? What's the point in me putting in any effort if I'm just gonna get kicked out? It wasn't until either the 13th or the 14th of December that my student finance finally got approved. It took me a long 3 months to get my student finance approved. And maybe in another time, that's a normal amount of time. But when you're in uni, needing the student finance, when you think everyone else at uni, they all have their student finance, there shouldn't be a big hold up. No, it was not easy. But anyways, the end of term came. I passed all my exams by God's grace and everything was sorted out. So yeah, just to summarize, I really did not enjoy my first term at Essex. I was antisocial. I wasn't going out. I stayed in my room. I didn't go clubbing once. This year, I'm determined to make a change and try and enjoy my uni experience as much as I can before it's over. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that long story time. Like and subscribe and comment below what other story times or ideas that you want me to do on my channel. Bye guys.